How you all doing? Little Leroy Dozal, the little Mexican California Senior Bat Company, doing a little fun YouTube video, which I hope you also take the time to go to my Facebook page, Leroy Dozal, which I kind of want to change so I can just focus that on the type of topics, things I do, because you know, some of my family's like, ¿Qué está hablando y todo? But anyways, so basically, this video I'm gonna say, obviously, a big thing I got going on my Facebook page is the 150 swings a week challenge. What we do out here, why I like to go on hit, is where I get a lot of exercise for my organs, improve my quality of life, as well as, you know, just making everything in the body working well. And that's so important. Like when you guys go hit BP, little do you know your body craves it and it needs it. And we're machines that were made. Think of your body as a car. If a car sits for a long period of time, some of the things working in that engine aren't going to be up to par, and you're going to have to do what? Oil changes, filter changes, because you don't want liquids sitting in there the same way in our bodies. 150 swings a week challenge, that's where that comes in. I do this for what? Betterment of my life. Keep my body toned, keep myself moving, as well as play the game that I have a strong love with, which is what? Softball. So thanks for coming on. So this video is for you little turkeys that don't do a whole lot. What do I mean? I'm the guy half the time will show up early to set everything up. And am I appreciated? Probably not. So this video is for you. If you can relate, because you're the guy who brings all the stuff and you're usually the early guy here waiting on people. When that stuff, to load it up from my, my shed and all that, to get into my car, walking it around. So you guys, that's our video. But for you watching it, it's to appreciate those guys. So this is what I'm gonna show you, what I gotta do here. So I called it a BP. I was gonna call it at 9:30, you'll know this, but instead I said, let's go 10 o'clock. It's only 70-some degrees, a light breeze, so it's gonna be a good day. It's not gonna be 100 degrees as we've had recently in Hollister. So obviously I'm here early, 10 o'clock. One guy, Eddie Kins, is down the street, and he's not here. Ryan's coming, but appreciate. And this is not even having everything. Right? So appreciate those guys. This is what I got to do to set up for BP. Look at this. Yeah. Appreciate your guys that set up BP. So you guys get to see. And I'm gonna try to enter. Ooh, look at this. Last BP, they broke one of those. So first thing I think is also a BP essential. If you're trying to make yourself that hitter, and you gotta have a net. This way you can hit the ball where it's pitched. So appreciating those guys that has to do all this pain in the rear stuff, just to make it right. BP, and the way I've evolved in BP from when I first started hitting to now has really upped my game, starting out with only 10 or 15 softballs to having well over 100 today. But all the little things that you get for BP makes your experience better. I mean, if you played any kind of good organized high school, college baseball, there's a reason they have those nets and all those other things they furnish. But as I said, this video is for you guys to buy those guys beer, buy them lunch, to appreciate them. And it's also good if you have a good group of guys that like to hit with you and stuff, that you kind of even out the load. And what I mean by that is, well, fortunately I had to bring everything. But obviously, anybody takes a lot of seriousness in their game, they're probably gonna have at least some softball. Not everyone has a net, but if I have a net and someone has softballs, I'll say, I'll bring my net, you bring your softballs. Today, originally, I was just gonna bring my softball. But, having a net is very essential in BP. And also setting up the net. What's the right net? This net, because I'm not sponsored by them, 139 bucks. Didn't go crazy and all that. And this one's lasted pretty good. The only thing I didn't like is having to set those bars in all the time. Oh boy. As I always do on anything I do streamed on YouTube, there's no editing. This video is coming straight from my phone. So there's the net. Hey, how long have I been here? Still by myself. This is another feature, save your bag. The reason I put this here is to block the balls. This is another essential, especially if you're playing senior softball. Unless you have to bend your lower back, not as good, right? So one thing I wanted you to notice. Oh, you brought yours? I like yours better. Look at that. So if you notice where my net is, I always leave an open lane. It's always easier for a guy to throw a straight pitch than having to come off the side. As the BP guys, YouTubers, yeah. No, you just go to your left. It doesn't take you that long to toss the ball, go to your left. Makes throwing a strike easier. Another thing I want you to see is this is the main, I said this on my other video, this is the main rubber, and look how far up I have this the net right there. And the reason for that, when it comes to being accurate throwing BP, it's much easier. Like if I'm pitching, you're gonna see this a little better. If I'm pitching from right here and everything I'm throwing short, keep your same mechanic, but take that step up to adjust. Where some guys that might be throwing here and have to go harder or not natural. Pitchers that are very consistent, this is a very natural. There's not a lot of adjusting. So for me, I pitch a lot of short from here, so I come up. So this way I can try to get it right in that hitting zone, okay? Another essential, ball bag. Gotta have ball bag. Also another thing, helps the back. Cones, I talk about the cones, and then gotta have a good amount of softballs, have a good effective BP. There you go. All right. So the last thing I like to do, appreciate those guys that bring the equipment, is set up cones. One thing I do is when I'm setting up the cones, I set it up primarily where they play me, the third baseman, shortstop, the 5-man. What I noticed, because you got to pick that up to be a good consistent hitter, is I've been seeing the 5-man going this way, because a lot of my video shows me pulling the ball, so I guess they don't think. So a lot of my last couple tournaments, I've been actually having to hit it in this area. But you're going to give me that. That's easy. But also setting up cones for everybody. And for this case, being I'm blessed to have the backing of a bat company, is my time done? Hell no. Oh, thank you. This is okay. Yay, thank you, Nationals. Old guy with the 40s, I appreciate it.
Good job, man.
Yeah, that's very humbling. I mean, that's another thing, like hitting out here, I get to hit a lot of my locals, and as many great players that are out here in Hollister and stuff, not getting recognized the way they should, because there's some great ones, to be very humble, especially taking second place with that. So, one of the last parts, obviously bats, and I still got some things there. Got to bring the bats for the boys. You know, join the movement. So slowly but surely, a lot of the local guys are starting to like these bats. So once again, this video is for those guys that are always having to bring stuff. So here you go. Got this Chronics right now available. Reach me out, great ones. The Special Forces. Reach out to Jim Bateman. Another great one. which is the Slovakian slasher swings, is the Shrum bat. We have these. Get in touch with us. 150 swings a week. You may take 50 today, 75. I'm looking to take about 100, another maybe 50 to 75 later in the week. That's the challenge for good health, good life. So if you haven't seen my Facebook page, go to Leroy Dozel. Tons of old podcasts. Been doing it for 3 years plus, as well as some old bat reviews, as well as seeing the new lines of California bats. So thank you all again. Please subscribe and like, tell a friend, and be nice to people.